Hi guys, I'm Ishita,
I'm Anoushka.
Aurelia.
I'm Masayuki.
and this is Team 10's project for the FLUI Hackathon for the client Baking by Max. To introduce our project, we spent 1 week redesigning the interface for our client Baking by Max, a bakery that specializes in baking for people who have specific dietary needs. The problem space we explored for the project had two primary sections. The first being creating multiple pages for a seamless navigation and to enhance user engagement. The second was to create a design for the growing customer base that Baking by Max had, and also to create a custom ordering interface to streamline the ordering process for the customers, since there were different dietary needs and flavor profiles that the customers could pick from. This is the current website design. This was what we were working with in terms of content as well. For the process, we began with observations and researching what elements made it difficult for users to navigate the interface. The first being inconsistent language. Spanish and English both were being used for different elements on the page, and that made it confusing for several users. There was inconsistent image clipping, where certain images were too zoomed in or zoomed out, not showing the product correctly. The menu prices were difficult to read and were smaller than the rest of the elements on the page. Some pages wouldn't load or have any content on them, making it confusing for the customers. There was an understated brand introduction on the website. It was only a small introduction on the landing page, and we wanted to make sure that we emphasize that in our redesign.
We had the opportunity to meet with our client and discuss with them what their bakery operations were like and what their business aspirations were. What we inferred from that meeting was that Baking by Maxine is a service that's based out of Edmonton. And because it's a local service, there is a pickup only and no delivery that's offered. The target demographic for the service is middle-aged women, aged 30 to 50 years, as was recorded to be the most amount of regular customers. When we spoke to the client about the redesign, they stated that they preferred a non-modern aesthetic and an aesthetic that's fun, cute, and feels homemade. One of the elements that they would like in our redesign is to provide a calendar to display availability for pickup options. And so after the meeting, we started ideating our user flow for the website. So we created a sitemap that shows the different elements that we would like to have on the landing page, and also the user flow that we would like to element so that the customers can go through the ordering process with ease. After creating a sitemap, we started creating wireframes, keeping in mind that our aim was optimizing efficiency and ease of use. We started off with creating a menu page wireframe and introducing different elements. One of the elements is a filter that allows customers to view seasonal menus, an addition that Maxine introduced last year. We also included a customized CTA that displays that each product is customizable, an aspect that Maxine wanted us to emphasize on. And in the project brief, we all noticed that there were certain products that were not on the list that could be requested for in the comments of other products. We thought this process was too complex and confused, so we created a new component called Build Your Own Treat option that allows customers to know that they can order items that are not on the list. We also created a calendar page as requested by Maxine that provides a calendar to select a pickup date and also colors to display which days are available or not. We created an order customization page that shows options to choose dietary requirements as per the customer's preferences, and also visuals to aid the customer choose the sizing and layering of their cake products.
So after finalizing the wireframes, we developed our first iterations of the homepage, where we experimented with different visual styles. We created 4 different prototypes, which vary in color, font style, and layout. Since the client enjoys a cute, fun, and homemade aesthetic, we included illustrations related to baking in some of the iterations. Compared to our original website, we used color blocks throughout the layout instead of having the entire site to be 2 colors. We also decided to explore with using various tints and colors outside the ones from our brand, as the contrast of them were previously too high. We then received feedback on our first iterations from our mentor to refine our approach. Our mentor pointed out that prototypes 2 and 3 were ideal, as the sections easily guide the user throughout the content of the site. In terms of visuals, prototype 1 was the one that embodied the fun environment that the client wants. And lastly, our mentor also suggested that for future iterations, to integrate elements from the prototypes 1 and 3 to create a well-rounded layout. And so taking the feedback into account, we started the second iterations of the website. Compared to the first iterations, we decided to use brand colors that are slightly darker and organize the information so the user can easily differentiate between the sections. And after developing the second iterations, we met with the client again to gather their feedback. Throughout this meeting, we were able to understand what they liked and disliked about the user interface of the prototypes. And out of the prototypes that we showed them, they preferred the visuals of the second prototype.
So with our feedback from the client and mentor, we decided to refine our final prototype and develop a desktop as well as a mobile version to show responsiveness across devices. This is the desktop version where they have a Order Now CTA right at the top to create ease for ordering. We also emphasize that it is a customizable sweet treat and only a pickup service. A story of Maxine, and Maxine had emphasized that flavor profiles were possible only by the requirements that the customers had chosen for their dietary needs. And so she wanted us to link her Instagram to allow for inspirations over flavors that were possible. Once we go into the ordering process, we reach the menu page, which has all the categories on the products that Maxine has to offer, as well as the build your own treat component that we introduced. Once we press customize, the customers can choose their options for their preferences and also add comments for any flavors or allergies other than that. They could go either into shopping more by adding this product into the cart or doing checkout. If they click shop more and add to cart, they reach back into the menu page to choose another product and also customize them as well. Once checkout process starts, they are allowed to choose a pickup date and a preferred time for their order, and also some personal information for Maxine to contact them later on. After that, they reach a page of order overview, which is essentially all their personal details and product details. They can use this space to edit any details if necessary. And finally, they reach a confirmation page. This also states that Maxine will contact them for further details along with a order summary and order number. This is the prototype for the mobile version. It is exactly the same with no new elements added, but just made responsive for the phone.
For design system, our design system provides an overview of the components, font, logo, and color palette implemented throughout our redesign. In the original design, we had only two colors on the color palette, purple and yellow with strong contrast. For new design in the right top, to have fun, cute, and homemade aesthetic, we chose two primary colors with less contrast, then added two secondary colors as well. We also tried to make a new logo. The original logo had a circular design, but as Maxine liked our idea of having illustration on the website and using bubble font and handwriting font, we made a new logo with this font and illustration. In addition, we also designed circular version of the logo for the physical product or stickers. As for the typeface, we chose rounded M+1C for the header, which looks like our logo font, but it is in Google font. And for subheader and main body, we chose Inter for its legibility. For components, we recreate the buttons and checkboxes with a new color palette for different states, like hover or active, as you saw in prototype to show interactivity. To ease users to navigate through the website, we redesigned also headers and footers. We added new logo and profile and cart icons for the new features on the header. And for footer, we added subscription form, SNS link, and contact information to make it easy for customers to contact Maxine.
So throughout the redesign and prototyping process, we had certain key considerations that we kept in mind. We prioritized accessibility with clear contrast following the web content accessibility guidelines and intuitive navigation, ensuring usability for all our users. We emphasized on customization by offering a range of features that inspire flexibility and also cater to our customers' preferences. We maintained our client's integrity by ensuring transparent communication throughout the redesign by stating pricing details, pickup procedures, and necessary licenses directly. We incorporated visual elements of enjoyment through fun colors and illustrations to align with our target demographics preferences and also ensure that our design remains engaging and wholesome. We designed an intuitive navigation system to easily move around different sections of the pages and find what they're looking for without getting lost. We maintain consistency in design elements, terminology, and interaction patterns through the entire user interface, reducing cognitive load and confusion. We ensure that the UI is responsive and adaptable to different sizes and devices. This benefits users who may be using other devices to reach our client. And finally, we design elements with common visual patterns like CTAs to align cues with user expectations. This can also help users understand the purpose of the elements without needing explicit instructions. Thank you.